Hi there, Taurus, and welcome to your August reading. It's really great to see you again. And as I was preparing for all 12 signs this month, I did a meditation just to kind of tune into the overarching energy of the month. And what I felt was that there would be a lot of opportunities this month to transform. We're just coming through a retrograde. There'll still be a retrograde shadow, and you're going to have more opportunity than usual to go back and to fix things. And because you'll be coming out of the shadow towards the middle to the end of the month, you also won't be encumbered by some of the challenges in communication that can occur during a retrograde. So it should be an exciting month for every single sign. Again, I'm going to focus on how you can shift things into your best interest. I'll be looking at reversals and seeing how you can kind of change the energy to, again, benefit you. And as we do that this month, I'm looking forward to that. When I was meditating, by the way, I saw two signs or two symbols come through. The first thing was the moon. As I was looking at the moon, all of the things that I would associate with the card also came through, which was it's a chance to connect with your sort of primal side, your creative side. Also, a chance to look at fears and hopefully overcome them. The other symbol that came through was a tarot card, the Magician, which really shows that once you clear that out, you become a channel. You're able to bring the divine in and create things with it. So let's see what we can do this month to empower you and allow you to become that magician that I was seeing. First, I'd like to remind you how you can use this video. The readings are designed so that you can use them for either your rising, your sun, or your moon sign. You can also watch on behalf of someone that you care about in your life. Don't worry if you don't happen to know your sun, rising, and moon. You can just choose your birth sign and you'll get all the guidance that you need just by simply doing that. For all of my return viewers, I'd like to say welcome back. It's always great to see you, and of course I appreciate the support and the love that you give here, but I'm really appreciative that you continue to do the work on yourself. That's why I show up. I try to empower you and give you all the tools you need to make the best decisions in the month ahead. If you're brand new, I'd like to also extend a very warm welcome and give you an introduction. My name is Ashbaugh, and this is how I organize the reading every month. I like to start with channeled information. And I gave you a little hint of that. I did that for all signs, but I also will do some individual information just for your sign in about a minute or two here after I talk about how this is organized. This is probably my favorite part of the video because it just allows me to connect with source and provide, again, some sign-specific information in the form of things that I see, things that I feel, things that might be at your disposal this month. And then after that, we will go a little bit deeper using the cards that I've chosen for you. And that'll allow us, when we go into the Celtic cross, to see whatever else wants to come through as far as the high points and also the challenges. I try to really paint the entire canvas for you so that you can find your way through it and, again, try to embrace the positive wherever possible. I also like to expand the forecast. This way, I can allow for whatever organically needs to come through in the Celtic cross to emerge, and then I hit on several points that I know all of you appreciate. That's health, wealth, love, and destiny. Now, if you enjoy what you see here, please stick around until the very end because in addition to doing a review and a final word, I'll also give you some information on how you can give back. This channel exists because of the support of viewers like you, and things like booking an appointment, sharing on social media, becoming a patron, or even joining the channel. All of this helps keep this channel healthy and alive. And I'll go into great detail at the end how you can assist with that. But I know you're here to hear your forecast and you want me to get into that now. So without any additional delays, let's go ahead and talk about your channeled information for the month of August. As I selected a deck of cards and began to meditate on your sign, what came through was relationships, but it came through in an interesting symbol. I saw chain links, or like sort of like a connected chain, and I could feel the energy of the people, the opportunities, the situations that were attached to it. And this month, I think what would be important to try to stay in the positive energy of this is to create and cultivate connections that matter to you. And one thing that you could do to try to figure out what those beneficial relationships are is to kind of close your eyes. You can even do it right now and think of a few people in your life that you care about or that you're frequently sort of connecting with. And as you think of that person, you could think of your partner if you're married or in a relationship. You could think of a family member if that's someone that came to mind when I mentioned that. Whoever it is that you're thinking of, picture that person in front of you and think, do they actually give me energy? Is it something that's mutually beneficial? Or do I feel like they're kind of tugging at me or weighing me down? And whatever your first impression is of that person and of that relationship, Scribble that down and kind of go through that with your maybe top 5 relationships that you are thinking of trying to either improve or release. And based on what you feel, the first thing that you feel in your body or the first thing that comes to mind, this is going to be the compass that guides you and tells you, should I continue to strengthen and create more energy and more connections with this person? Should I let go? Is there something in the connection between us that needs to be fixed? For instance, is communication where it should be? Is empathy where it needs to be? Again, reciprocity. Am I pulling all the weight or are they pulling all the weight? So using that metaphor and that symbol of a chain, think about where you're going. And in a good relationship, it should be pretty even. You should feel like you have each other's back and that there's give and take, and that it sort of, at the end of the day, evens out. In fact, in a very elevated relationship, you may not even feel like there is any sort of give and take because you're just there to support each other. And that's really what we all want to sort of evolve to. And a little homework assignment here before I get started. Take a look at the Lovers card, take a look at the Devil card, and use a traditional Rider-Waite deck to do this. And you will notice that they're almost identical. The main difference is that the Lovers in the 2 different cards are connected with chains in the Devil card, and they are free in the Lovers card. Of course, they're also embraced by an angel in the Lovers card as well, which is showing that you're connected to the divine, that there's really positive energy. It's the colors and that chain element, and of course the angel versus the devil. Those are the main differences between the 2, but they're almost the same, and it's the chain that matters. So there shouldn't be strings attached. This is another way you could take this. True love is unconditional, and so my final message regarding the chains is, in the best relationships, friendships, work alliances, and love relationships, there are no chains, there are no strings. You simply love one another, celebrate each other's successes, help each other through any sort of difficulties, and that's really where we all want to head in the long run. So use this information as you will, and in the meantime, let's go ahead now and take a look at the Celtic cross for the month ahead. I like to remain quiet at this point so that I can absorb all the information, and after that I will pull each and every card up and talk about how it's going to relate to you and the month ahead. Your catalyst message was reversed. First, let me just tell you what the catalyst functions as. For me, this is one of the more important cards that I'll pull today because this is going to help you navigate the month with the most success, how to get to the highest energies. It also shows a connection between everything. So let's look a little closer. Pull it upright so I'm not reading upside down. It says, narrow pathway, tread thoughtfully. And if you look at the illustration, you'll see this old-fashioned kind of rickety stairwell or a bridge, if you will. And again, it looks like it's made of ropes and wood. So when I see narrow pathway, what I actually saw was a window of opportunity that would open up during this month. And it would be a delicate opportunity, which means that if you rushed into it, that could kind of drive it away. If you hesitate, that could also be something that makes it kind of fade. Or if you are coming on too strong. So you really want to kind of be as neutral as possible. And I think that's going to be key, but you have to keep your ears and eyes open so that you recognize these opportunities. There may be more than one, even though it says narrow pathway. We'll let the cards indicate what those passages or pathways may be, and I'll try to tell you the intensity of how narrow or how delicate they might be as well. That message of transformation that I saw when I was looking across all signs is definitely coming through with your central card. We have the World in reverse, and this card is all about shaking things up a little bit. This could mean a change of relationship, a change of job. It could also mean a change of living situation, a move, a literal move, or travel. The reversal of this actually shows that there should be a little bit of a heads up. The World upright can just be about something coming to a close or a big change that comes into your life. When I see things like the Tower reversed, Death reversed, or the World reversed, there's a little bit of knowledge or a warning sometimes that comes through, and then you have choices and decisions to make. You could take the World Reverse card and apply this to a situation like deciding that you're ready to go for a higher degree of education, or that you're no longer feeling like maybe a relationship or a living situation is fulfilling you, that there's something that you've outgrown. And this is about wanting to reach a little bit further, wanting to strive for something that is different, that allows for you to really grow and evolve. So big changes are at your fingertips this month, and it's a great time for you to really spread your wings. The World card, for those of you that might be artists or creative types, can be a big breakthrough. Now, the fact that it's reversed, though, could indicate that it's from an unexpected source. It comes at a time that you didn't anticipate, even if you sort of felt like this was the moment. And that's where we were looking at this sort of narrow pathway. I want you to really take advantage of a window of opportunity when it opens this month, even if the timing is a little inconvenient. You may have to rearrange your schedule. You may have to say no to someone that you already committed to. This path that is opening up may not open again, and this World card reverse is showing that this may be a second chance and there may not be a third. So if there's something you really want and you get a chance this month, go for it. By all means, go for it. Let's look at some of the other cards to get additional context on it. The World card was crossed by the Page of Cups, which is all about the heart space, about creativity. I even mentioned again when I was looking at all signs, I saw the moon. And the moon is that sort of very primal creative force that we all have. Whether you're creative or not, like whether you're in a creative career, I should say, or not, you're still gonna have that ability to come up with ideas, to do things in a creative way that could surprise both yourself and other people. So I want you to allow yourself to brainstorm, to not be boxed in by old methods and old habits. This is a really good time to try new things. And this can start on a small level. It could be as simple as, instead of taking one way to work, you're going to take another. Instead of eating the same thing for lunch, you're going to do this. What this can do is also open up a path to meet someone else, to find or discover something else. So I would love for you this month to start to make small tweaks in your schedule, left and right, and decide, I really want to experience new things. I don't have to do the same thing every day. This not only will, again, open up new opportunities, but it's going to make you feel alive, and it's going to open up that channel of love, of passion, of creativity that comes through. And yes, of course, this can mean that there's a new relationship coming through. I know a lot of you ask about that. This month especially, because your crowning card is Ace of Cups, and I see the 10 of Cups here in reverse in the environment, and the 4 of Wands in the outcome. So when we're looking at like quintessential cards that could show relationships, the Page of Cups, the Ace of Cups, the 10 of Cups, the 4 of Wands, yes, 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 yes. So we'll look at each of these because it's not just about love. There's some additional pieces that come through, but I will say this: if in the past you haven't prioritized key relationships in your life, please do. In fact, this all harkens back to what I was talking about earlier about creating and cultivating relationships that you want. And I added a little bit of text here, which is to focus on unconditional love, because in the truly elevated ones, it's going to feel easy, open, and not like you're kind of tied down or pulled down by certain things that are in that other person's energy. So let's talk a little bit more about what we see here. In the deep past, we actually have another Cups card. We have the 9 of Cups in reverse. This is what you have to pay attention to in order to avoid past cycles that might have pulled you away from the opportunities that we see here right at the center. The 9 of Cups is a great card when it's upright. It's about passion, it's about joy, it's about the sunny side of the street, always looking at what's available, what's possible. But it is a card of extremes. They can be extreme highs and extreme lows. And the problem with the 9 of Cups is it can throw you off center, something that you don't want to do, as we saw with this card, because you may miss one of those windows of opportunity. Prior to me really digging deeply into my career with tarot, I learned how to teach yoga, and of course I had to learn how to practice it prior to that. And one of the central tenets of that is to try to stay neutral, centered, and aware, something that I was talking about earlier. You're going to have to keep your eyes, ears, and third eye open, so you're going to be able to perceive this. When you are in an extremely excited state, too high, or when you're in a completely depressed state, too low, your sensitivity is off. So it's okay to be happy, it's okay to be sad, but you have to try to bring it into the center point as much as possible. And meditation, breathing, exercise, any sort of arts and channeling, all of this stuff is going to be great because it will give you a chance to release some of that tension. And I think that's one of the things that you can do to stay as neutral and as aware as possible. So there you go. The other thing I will say with the Nine of Cups, when it comes to important things like eating, drinking, and sleeping, you really want to make sure that those things are moderated. Don't go too far in any of those extremes. And of course, when it comes to anything toxic, whether it's literally something that you're putting in your body or more environmental things, you want to try and distance yourself from those this month, because that can also take you off your path and you could miss one of these opportunities. In your recent past, you have the Seven of Wands in reverse. Now, this is illustrating something that you've hopefully already moved through, but there may be a little bit of this residue that you have to kind of let go of to be successful this month. Let's start with the fact that the Seven of Wands is actually a positive card overall. This is a card that comes through for people that can basically handle anything. It's the tarot equivalent of multitasking, if you will. Now, with that, there is also a couple of things that you want to be mindful of. The reversal means that you may be sometimes on the defensive when you don't need to. You could be overcommitting, saying, yeah, I'll do this, or I can do this, and not pushing back, saying no, or delegating. So obviously the way that you can reverse those two things are, if you're feeling a little defensive, ask some questions. See if it's just something that's been triggered by a heightened emotional situation, or if there's something valid that you should be concerned about. Always take a pause, take a deep breath, ask a question, maybe ask for advice from someone that you trust. And then if it's validated, of course, it's something that you'll have to go and course correct if you need to. The good news with the Seven of Wands is you usually will get your way with that, so don't worry about it. When it's about overcommitting, look around you. Are there people there that want to help you out? It looks like it when I look at the environment. I saw the Ten of Cups card here. In fact, with the Ten of Cups, many of you have already given more than you've received. And so the way to bring this card into balance is by delegating, and that will take both of these cards and bring them upright. So this month, don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't immediately go on the defensive. And basically, if you do this, you're going to have more energy, more attention, and more opportunity to put your energy into something that is worthy of it. Because if you're overcommitted, what are you? You're running on empty, right? And if you're defensive, you're spending too much energy defending something that may not need to be defended. And so basically, don't get in your own way this month, because there's so much going on that's positive. Seven of Wands shows me that you're organized, that you work hard, and that you're very considerate sometimes of others because you don't want to impede on their territory. Those are great things. Just don't err on being too much of those. And that's really what we saw with the past with the Nine of Cups. So moderate extremes, delegate, and also sort of assume the best until proven otherwise. If you do that, you've taken those two cards, you've put them into a positive position, you can start to see things from a positive perspective again. And in doing so, guess what? People are attracted to you because you seem like you're level-headed, like you're passionate about what you're working on, you trust them, you engage them, and they think, I want some of that, whatever that is, whatever they're doing, I want to be a part of that energy. So that's why the Ace of Cups is in the crowning position. It's upright, so yes, you can be meeting someone that you really click with this month. There's so many Cups cards. This could absolutely be a water sign for many of you. I also see a King of Pentacles too. So for some of you, you could be at a sort of crossroads where it's almost like it's been a desert for a while, and then all of a sudden when it rains, it pours, and there's a couple of opportunities for you. Likewise, if we take it out of the context of relationships, the Ace of Cups could represent something that you really want to do, a passion project, and the King of Discs could show you something that is sort of more tried and true, a traditional path. Now, there's something else that this could also represent, though, because the King of Discs is in possibilities. So this is saying that what you love could be how you make a living. And that's really the ideal goal we should all have. You should love what you're doing. Because once you love your work, it no longer really feels like work. It's just your passion, and you're working your passion. And that energy that you're putting into it, that true love, is what's going to create more abundance. So I hope that that is the connection for many of you. Just a quick note for those of you that are in relationships, it seems like it's a good month for you. With the Ace of Cups in the crowning position, if there was any turmoil in the past, which could have been the Nine of Cups in reverse, some sadness, some discord, maybe the two of you not seeing eye to eye, when I look in the ego this month, you're actually much more balanced. And I see the end of the month being a place where you might decide to make a compromise, but you're happy with that compromise because the Four of Wands shows support, fidelity, happiness, all of that. And so I feel like you're getting there. The main thing this month is to monitor your commitments. Again, not saying that you'll do everything, picking and choosing what's important, especially when it comes to friends and family that may find a way to sort of like push your buttons and take a little bit more than they should. In your near future, you have the Strength card. This really is great in all possible ways because the position, the fact that it's upright, and what it's close to is showing me that you're in sound mind, sound body, and you have the ability this month to really be bold and take advantage of those windows of opportunity. If you are faced with some sort of a dilemma between doing what you want and love to do versus something that people expect of you, remember that window of opportunity is short. Go after what you want to do, unless, of course, there's no way that you can financially do it or there's people depending on you. Even then, remember, you could ask for help. You could lean on people. You might be surprised at the support that you receive if you truly communicate the fact that this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, which it might be for some of you, because the world is crowned by that Ace of Cups. So this is a chance for you to really follow your heart's desire. So whether it's a relationship, a job, a move, or some sort of passionate project that you've been wanting to work on, I really hope you get a chance to go after it this month because the cards seem to really be supporting you as well. And I can't wait to see how that works out for many of you. As I said in the ego, the biggest challenge for you is balance. For me, the Two of Pentacles can sometimes indicate, a money issue, but when we're looking at resources this month, I think you're okay. We have the King of Discs in the opportunity space. And I think that this is balancing out expectations, balancing out your own commitments, and then also deciding how you want to spend your time and energy. This is work-life balance, and this is also looking at the future and thinking, will I feel happy doing this? Because something big is about to shift for you, for your sign. Sometimes I look at the Two of Pentacles as a chance for you to evaluate where you're at in your life right here, right now, and think, if this was my last day on the planet, how would I feel about the choices I've made? How would I feel about the day that I just spent? Did I do what I wanted to do? Have I touched the lives and made the difference on this planet that I wanted to? If you get the answer yes, then stay the course and keep doing what you're doing. But if there's something that you hesitate on, if you feel like, I just wish I had have done this, you can take what would feel like a regret today and make it a goal for tomorrow. And that's going to be how you can make sure that you're aligning to your path, your trajectory, your soul's desire, and then things start to come into alignment. Once you know who you are, what you want, and try to make that happen, the universe starts to align and help you out with that. The environment this month, we talked already about, saying no, having boundaries. The other thing is, I feel for some of you, there could be help just around the corner. This could also be about letting someone in that wants to provide some assistance. This could come in the way of giving you money, or giving you a place to stay, or just giving you the emotional support that you need. And I feel like all you have to do this month is ask or look. It's right there in the environment, and it seems to be hidden a little bit. So for some of you, there's more assistance than you think, and you could either be sort of shutting it out, unaware, or just haven't really been maybe allowing yourself to receive the assistance. So if you feel like receiving it, receive it. If not, just be aware that you're not alone. And I think that's the main thing that came through there. Again, those messages of boundaries and pushing back, it's important, but don't push everyone back. There are some people who are your advocates and really want to assist. In opportunities, we have the King of Pentacles. This again could be a new love interest for some of you, but for most of you, this is a chance to look at how you're making your money, how you're spending your money, and realize that I see something new on the horizon. So keep your eyes and ears open. If you've been looking for work, the World at the center and the King of Discs or the King of Pentacles there, an opportunity, that equals a job, that equals an interview. If you've been looking for love, the Ace of Cups and the King of Discs also can indicate a new love interest coming in. And we have both earth and water. This could be in the same person. This could also be choices that you have to make in love. The King of Discs, obviously a little older, a little bit more experienced. And the interesting thing with the Page of Cups is it seems like that energy is a little bit more transformative for many of you. So follow your heart, not what people think. That's one of the common threads that I've been receiving for you this month. Ultimately, we have the Four of Wands reverse, but nonetheless, it's a very good card in the outcome. The reversal of this can show some delays in being able to get everybody on your side or everybody sort of agreeing to something. Compromise is probably going to be a part of this. So you're going to have to balance out what you need, what others need. Realize that you have the leadership skills this month to make it happen. You also have the ability to really get the resources coming through for you as well. So I don't see a lot of limits this month. I see choices, and that's something that we talked about way back at the beginning when I said the world reversed would equal some difficult choices. It could be the choice between two loves, two jobs, or also just trying to figure out how to spend your time and energy. Whatever it is, the fact that your crowning card is the Ace of Cups tells me that your heart is open, and as long as you tune into the energy there, it's going to be a wonderful compass. And I also see growth, money, resources expanding here in the opportunity space. A lot of support, a lot of people that want to be around you. Some of you that are in entertainment, arts and entertainment, this is showing me that there could be multiple engagements this month that you might have to partake in. Even for those of you that are just in a general job or a really big family, I just see 2 or 3 activities that are going to be pulling at you this month. So remember, say yes to what makes sense, push back if it doesn't, delegate to someone else on your team if you can as well. That way you have coverage, you're not falling short of any expectations, and you're still able to kind of keep your wits about you. Because many of you have worked hard to get where you're at, and it's important to maintain that conviction that really comes through with the Strength card. Good leaders are leaders because they believe they can lead, and people can pick up on that and they trust them. So trust yourself, speak with a sense that you know what you're doing. Others will then follow suit, and you're also going to create this protection that you don't even have to meditate on. When you are strong and you believe in yourself and you act with strength, dignity, conviction, then you push away people that would otherwise find a way to get into the cracks. And basically that's when you waver and you do more than you should, or you let people get away with things, or you don't speak up when you should. When you're just a strong leader with a lot of heart, people can't wait to sign up to be on your team. So combine those elements. And I think that as we get more into the Aquarian age, out of the Piscean into the Aquarian, in other words, getting away from the old standards that we saw in the 20th century and now seeing in the 21st century, that both men and women can be strong, assertive, and sensitive, then we're going to be okay. We can't be in this binary sort of vacuum where you can only be a certain type of leader or type of person. I think society as a whole is evolving, and this month you're being challenged as well to sort of merge the divine feminine, divine masculine, and to take advantage of whatever opportunity seems to want to come through. Let's go ahead now and move along to your expanded forecast. We're going to begin with your health card. This is mind, body, and spirit. It's not just what's going on in your physical being. So let's give the cards a shuffle and see what the message is for you. Your health message this month really focuses on commitment, but what I saw when I looked at this was also to be realistic. And I think that whatever kind of commitment you're trying to make, whether it's a commitment of trying to meditate more, exercise more, moderate whatever you're drinking and eating, it's more important for you to have a goal that is something that you can easily attain rather than something that is so difficult that you kind of set yourself up for failure and then can't get back on that path of feeling like you're making progress. So this month, I would rather you try it in small steps and celebrate the little victories. But the main thing to take away from this is to show up consistently and to make a commitment to yourself that you're doing it so that you can be healthy, so that you can be happy, and so that you can take advantage of all of these things coming through. All right, let's take a look now at your wealth card. Wealth, just like health, includes different aspects of your life. It's not just money, it's your self-worth, it's the opportunities that are coming through, and it's how you react to those opportunities. So let's give the cards a shuffle and see what the message is for wealth. Your message with wealth is about higher learning. It says, you have learned from experience. More inner study is now required to further progress. First of all, just higher learning in general to me strikes a chord with, of course, education or training. And when we're looking at wealth, there may be a chance for you to go into an internship program, to go back to school, or maybe you're just deciding to learn something on your own, do sort of like a home study or personal study, or do some sort of online course. Whatever it is, definitely the energy of expansion is there when it comes to money. And I do think that this would be a good investment of your time and energy. The main thing that you have to take a look at this month is, does it make sense from a financial perspective? I talked earlier about really making sure that you're always connecting with your heart's desire. And if this is something that means a lot to you, you'll find a way. But it is important this month to kind of make sure that it's feasible and it doesn't stress you out. When I talked earlier in your resources about, being able to find some assistance, this 10 of Cups could also be financial assistance, not just from friends and family, but there may be some sort of a scholarship option or an unexpected source of a loan, maybe at a discount, etc. So where there's a will, there's a way, and it looks like if some of you want to go back to school, want to go for training, etc., it's there. Now, from a different sort of angle, what I see with this is to trust your intuition. And if you feel uncomfortable about, maybe it's the terms of a contract, or if you want to spend money on something or invest in something and you're not sure, ask for help. Higher learning to me is about getting the expertise necessary and not being afraid to ask and say, hey, I need a little bit more information here, or this is out of my comfort zone, and then doing the research to get that help and support that you need. But mostly what this is about is expansion and sort of nod from the universe saying it's okay if you want to learn more or grow. In fact, in the long run, this can help you quite a bit, because in the possibility space, we have the King of Pentacles. So good luck for any of you that are deciding to either return to school or go for the first time, or maybe even finish up something like a GED. This is a great month for you to do that, and I wish you all the best. One more thing before we wrap up on your wealth card. Because it was reversed and because it's all about knowledge or intuition, I just want to kind of highlight one thing, which is that you should never make an assumption about someone based on their last name, where they went to school, what job position they have, etc., how young or how old they are, because God in the universe, intuition, knowledge, it can flow through any channel. And if you're very open to teachers in your life, you could learn something from someone that you would never expect to have the depth of knowledge or the wisdom that they might have. This is a very kind of silly and funny aside, but honestly, even my dog is a teacher. I feel like he came through as a spiritual teacher to open up my heart and teach me about love. And we don't always think about pets and children as teachers, but they are. Definitely our older relatives are, our ancestors. And again, in our day-to-day life, you may take for granted that the person that gives you your coffee in the morning might have some sort of a lesson for you. One of your friends from high school that reaches out may have a lesson for you. So just know that teachers are everywhere, knowledge is everywhere, and when we start to see that we're all kind of even on that scale, we're all universal souls that are living one experience, then this higher learning that we do sometimes in this lifetime, it's not as important as the soul knowledge that any person or any living being on this planet, pets included, have to offer for us. So don't forget your own intuition, your own knowledge, and don't take for granted someone else's, again, just because of a different walk of life that they might be on. You might miss out on a lesson. Let's move along now to love and relationships. Knowing that this isn't just about romantic relationships, this is about how you're going to express your passion, your creativity in your life, and also just how you treat people in your day-to-day life and how they treat you. So let's give the cards a shuffle and see what your message is in love. In the area of love, it all comes to healing and service, but let me read the card so you can see it. It says, you have the spiritual gift of healing and a desire to share it with others. The card is titled Healer, but the card is reversed. And this is sort of putting the energy on you. So this month, in order to experience this beautiful love card that's coming through in the top, or that passion, it's important for you to allow for your body, for your mind, and for your spirit to be in a place of receiving, and particularly in receiving a healing. So if you've never had a massage or acupuncture or Reiki done before, this would be a great month to allow for that kind of experience. Some of you may also be seeking a path of becoming a healer, any of those modalities that I mentioned, or perhaps something else, even just becoming a teacher so that you can help heal, change, and shift the youth of tomorrow. Whatever it is this month, there seems to be both, again, a sort of important balance between what you're going to do for others and what you're going to do for yourself, going back into the ego of the Two of Pentacles. So bring your own energy in balance first before you go into a role of service, before you help others, or before you commit to something long term. And this is going to allow for whatever that goal or aspiration is to be a successful one. But I'm going to, again, underline the fact that this is a time for you to heal, for you to find this balance, and that balance is then going to bring in higher love as well, okay? If there's anybody in your life with whom you're estranged, or there's some sort of a disagreement or argument, I also feel like you can change the energy this month, because we had change at the center and then a beautiful love card right on top of it. And I wish you luck in doing that. That's an important thing. Forgiveness is probably the best gift you can give to yourself and to others. Let's move along to destiny now. Destiny is your way of looking at your overall trajectory and deciding, do you want to stay on that path, or do you want to make some sort of a course correction? So let's shuffle the cards and see what they have to say. In the outcome, we have a new moon card in reverse, and the imagery on this is very much about core relationships in your life. For me, the moon, as I talked about at the beginning, can be about facing things that you're afraid of. New moons are about setting intentions and planting seeds. So over the course of this month, I want you to really try to heal and release any sort of the fears that you might have. And then at the end of the month, towards the next new moon cycle, whenever that is for you, I want you to think of one relationship that you want to either heal or maybe move along further into, because the two center cards are really all about that. Changing something about a relationship that matters to you. And believe in yourself, believe in someone else, and believe in the ability to come closer together. This is where you can heal, or you can create and cultivate a relationship or a connection. And that's really what I saw way back at the beginning. So I wish you luck in that. I see a lot of healing that's coming through for many of you. I would like to give you a heads up though, whenever you're working with this sort of card, whether it's the moon or anything lunar, sometimes there can be intense emotions, which we saw with the Nine of Cups in the deep past. So in order to heal, you might need to kind of acknowledge those and release them. So whether that's maybe needing some more sleep, some of you it might be crying, some of you it might be trying to find a channel for that, whether it's dance, art, or something creative. Do that for yourself, because this is going to allow a healing to take place, and that's something that we saw needed to happen for some of you in relationships. Heal yourself first, then heal others. All right, let's go ahead now and review everything that we talked about today, and then I'll wrap up and give you your closing word. This month, your channeled message was a reminder of how you connect with other people. A lot of times we call this courting, but what I saw this month was almost that image of chain links going one after another. And basically what you wanted to do was evaluate how much you're giving, how much you're taking from other people in your life, and ultimately get to a place where maybe it's unconditional and you're not really feeling their energy because you're both just present and loving each other exactly the way you are. Either way, this is a month to really evaluate, to create, to cultivate, to release, and perhaps to find this higher love if that's something you're interested in. And we saw that echoed with so many different types of cups cards throughout the entire reading. But let's first focus on your catalyst card, which was all about taking advantage of small windows of opportunity and realizing that they only open once in a great while, and some of them could be kind of scared away if you act too quickly or too slowly. And for some of you, this big opportunity could be following a passion that you love in your life, maybe doing that for a living. It could also be partnering up with someone, because the Four of Wands can be marriage, as can, the combination here that we see with the Ace of Cups, the Page of Cups, and the Four of Wands. All of that can show, and the Ten of Cups as well. A lot of relationship energy coming through as well. So if you have a chance now to do that, feel it out for yourself and think, am I ready? Because that's the most important component here. Center card, big change. Change of work, change of living situation, change of job, relationship status, travel, can also be a card of expansion and publication or distribution if you're in a company. All good, but it is reversed, which means that there's some decisions that you have to make. It's not going to all be laid out in front of you. We see here that following your heart is the most important thing. And as we look at deep past, finding a way to sort of temper emotions is also going to be key to success. Try not to be defensive. Instead, take a deep breath, assume the best unless proven otherwise, unless someone gives you a reason for concern. Know that if you do have to fight for anything this month, you're actually in a really good position to negotiate to your advantage. So that's good. Just remember to say no whenever necessary, to push back and to delegate, because there's so much here to do. You don't want to get kind of tied down in mundane tasks. So if you're in a position where you can delegate, definitely do that. Ace of Cups, great card to be in the crowning position, showing that when you start to find a place where your emotions are tempered, where you aren't overreacting, then all of a sudden people see that you're passionate, you're likable, you're in control of yourself, you're also speaking and acting with conviction. Suddenly you're attracting people, not because you're trying, just because you're simply in a place where it's easy to like you, it's easy to get along with you, and they want to be in that energy. The Ace of Cups is also a very sort of it's an intuitive card, and it's showing you that you're going to be moved in the right direction if you trust the flow. Strength card. Your body is in a good place as long as you're not abusing it. Also, your ability to convey energy, thoughts, information, also very strong because we have strength right by the world and connected with all these passion cards. So you're in a good place this month for leadership. The biggest challenge is your work-life balance and your resources. Not a great month to make a big purchase, by the way. I think this is more about personal development and relationship development, so keep your checkbook in balance as well. As we said, there's a lot of love and support. We see it with the Four of Wands, we see it with the Ten of Cups. Lean on it when you need it. Ask for help when you need help. Say no if people are pulling at you too much, because it does feel like those of you that are light workers and healers might be giving away more than you need to. There's a great amount of energy going into development, and we saw that here with higher learning. So if you want to go back to school, you want to learn something new, or you just want to kind of geek out and read something, this is a great month to do that. Ultimately, with the Four of Wands here, even in reverse in the end, it's showing platonic relationships, long-term foundations, and a lot of people that are interested in being around you. So if you're in the arts, if you're an entertainer, if you're looking to get yourself published or somehow be out in the public eye with the World card at the center and this here, you're in great position for this month. Also with the King of Discs right underneath it. I feel good about those of you that are trying to find new work or trying to sell something. When we're looking at your health message this month, it's really about being consistent and making a commitment that you can stand behind. For wealth, again, higher learning, but also not taking for granted somebody's information or help just because you may not think that they would be coming through with a lot of wisdom. Wisdom comes and can speak through any vehicle, any person. Don't miss a message. Heal yourself before you heal others. And if you want to go on to a path of higher learning, particularly if it's a healing art, this is really supporting you as well. And finally, with the new moon card, a message that you want to give yourself a month for some of these key relationships to develop, especially if healing is involved. And you can always do something with a lunar meditation as well. I talked in a previous sign about allowing yourself to just release any sort of heavy energy that you'd be holding on to. You can do that with the sun, with the moon, with God itself. And so with a lunar meditation, you could kind of imagine that the energy within you, any sort of sadness, or if it's also anger or whatever, you could feel like the moon is pulling that away like it would the tides. And it's leaving you with that nice, calm, in-between energy that's between high and low tides, because that's kind of where you want to be. And I think that could be a really cool meditation for those of you that want to do that. Maybe sometime in the future I'll do a new moon meditation. It's been a while since I did that. So with that being said, that does bring your monthly reading to a close. I hope that you received all of the energy and the information that you need to feel empowered and to feel ready for everything the month has in store for you. I'm excited for you guys. I have to say that with so much passion and actually some great resource cards too. I feel that once you find your balance, you're going to have some great potential and great energy that you can harness this month, and I can't wait to see how it works out for everybody. As you're walking through this path in the month ahead, if you ever feel like you want to talk a little bit about something that I covered today, or if there's another big decision, we saw that world card at the center, and you just need a little bit of advice, feel free to reach out to me. If you click on the first card in the video or the first link right below it, that'll take you to my booking site, and from there you can take a look at my rates and my availability, and if it makes sense, I can't wait to talk to you. And otherwise, if you just want to say thank you and support the channel for all the sort of resources that I provide from month to month, and including my intuitive development series, then a great way to give back is to click on the second card or second link. This will take you to a special page on my site where you can do a one-time contribution, you can join me on Patreon, or you can even join me here on YouTube. For those of you on the mobile interface, you may have to follow that. If you're on the desktop, you can actually just click the join button as well. All of these methods will allow for me to really keep creating the content that you see here. Part of it goes into buying decks like this. This is actually an out-of-print deck that I was able to purchase with your help. It's the Arcus Arcanum deck, I believe. And it also allows me to set up time on the calendar as well. And that's actually the most valuable piece, because a lot of people don't realize I see clients as the main part of my sort of day-to-day job, and I'm a writer, and this is like the third thing that I fit into my schedule. So when I get more support from you, I don't have to do the other things as much, and I can do more videos and I can do them faster. To everyone who has joined my channel through that join button, or who has done a contribution either one time or through Patreon, I just want to say thank you. You made today possible, and if you're thinking about doing it, thank you in advance for allowing me to be here. It means a lot. Finally, I'd like to say that the third way that you can help out doesn't require much more than a few clicks, but it really makes a big impact on the health of the channel. So if you haven't already liked and subscribed, please do that. You can also opt into notifications by clicking on the bell. And the third link and third card will take you to my website, where you can connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And then if you really want to make a difference, you can share this video on that feed. And when you do that, it's like you're an ambassador. And what I'm trying to do here, as I've said many times before, is to create beacons of light, or lighthouses, if you will, that are kind of illuminating this planet in a time when there's a lot of questions and uncertainty. And hopefully I'm creating teachers and healers out there, just like we saw with this card, so that you guys can pass on this sort of energy and positivity to others. That's my goal on the planet, to raise consciousness and hopefully create conversations around it as well. So please help me on that, and it means a lot. Finally, let's end with your closing word. I think the main thing for you this month is your heart is opening up. It's all about heart-centric communication, also trying to find some sort of a connection between what you do for a living and what you love. If you can bring these two together, I feel that not only will you be more successful, but also you're going to be pulling in people that love and support you as well. So living, working, thinking in the frequency of love, that's going to be your secret sauce this month. So really embrace it and give yourself about 1 month's time to allow for some of this development to happen. It may take longer than you think, but some of that energy also is subtle. So give yourself time in meditation. Remember to just be consistent with that, and see if you don't start to pick up on some of the frequency shifts that you're doing. I look forward to hearing about it in the months and weeks to come. Thank you again for allowing me to be with you for the last 45 minutes or so. You have a lot of choices, both here on YouTube and also in life. It's been my honor and my privilege to be a part of your journey. I wish you the best now and always. See you again in 1 month's time. Much love until then.